Go.
Welcome, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Back to the Nets. With us here, we have our regulars with KU and Samved. Welcome to another episode, guys.
Hi.
Hello, Elroy.
Yeah.
Hello.
The last time we caught up was during the international break where nothing much was going on. But when it comes to Arsenal, that's never the case. There is always something going on, may it be on the pitch or off the pitch. And rightly so, ever since we caught up the last time, a lot has taken place. The match against Manchester
Man
City,
City.
the transfer window. I mean, we got our man who we wanted. We discussed that last time. And yes, some controversial topics with regards to the squad, as the Premier League squad that has been submitted, a certain player being omitted, and we have a Europa League match tonight and a couple of interesting games ahead. So let's start by discussing the Manchester City match. So Samved, what was your overall take about the game? What were your key points and takeaways from it?
See, obviously, it was disappointing to see us not get anything out of the match, but I don't think we deserved to get a better result. We played really poorly. There's no better word to put it. But if I have to look at the
Veda has been having audio issues, I guess, Elroy.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, do you want to take it up? What were your thoughts
Sure.
about the City game?
It was disappointing. It was not as disappointing for me for dropping the points. What was disappointing was the absolute lack of creativity. At no point of time did we think that we would score. So,
Yeah,
and I know that we have Pepe on the wings, and Pepe comes in and Pepe plays really well when he's brought on. But if you start trusting him, that is when he starts showing absolutely nothing on the pitch. So I personally felt that the lack of somebody who is feeding consistently to the forwards is missing. Aubameyang is wasted, and it pretty
yeah.
much ruins our transfer window with Aubameyang signing a long-term contract with us. That was highlighted in the
Yeah,
City game.
yeah. I think Aubameyang, maybe there was. I mean, I personally feel that he'll get back into scoring. I'm not worried about him, but the thing with Aubameyang is, the way he's being played right now is a bit of an issue. Like he was played on the wings last season, which was fine, but his main thing was to cut from the inside left channel, which was fine. But here he seems to be spending more time on the wings, which is a bit. I don't know. Over the last couple of games, that has seems to be a bigger problem right now, which hopefully it will change. Uh, I think that, see, there are two schools of thoughts for this. First of all, was that 1-0. If you take this 1-0 defeat against City on a normal day, a lot of us would have said that fine, it's not a hammering, it's not a 3-0 loss, and people would be okay with it. But considering the fact that we know that we are a better squad this year, people expected a lot also. And yes, in the end of the first, I think what was disappointing was the fact that we ended the first half well. We were the ones who had some really, really good chance opportunities at the end, but the way we took the second half, where we had no, there was lack of any creativity in the second half or any proper chance. That was quite a letdown for me at least, and should have shown more intent there. So by the looks of it, it seems as though Arteta was content with a 1-0 defeat rather than going to get an equalizer and maybe conceding another two. Maybe that was the thing. But yeah, I mean, in a way, I would say that this is one of the bigger games of the league. And yeah, hopefully things will get
Yeah.
better. Yeah. So, Samved, are you back with us?
yes, yes.
Yeah. So, Samved, we had a lot of questions were there with regards to the game against City. One of them being Willian as the false nine, you know, and that was quite a controversial topic for many people were questioning that. What was your what was your take on that?
I think Sumit is having
Okay.
another glitch.
Yeah. Anyway, Kayur, do you want to touch on this topic?
I am okay with Willian being on the wings. I still did not, I mean, it's too early. It's the first game that probably I'm against the best defense. So
Yeah.
I probably would say that that experiment didn't really look as successful against this City. Um, but I mean, still early days. We have not been able to predict Arteta's favored starting 11 yet. He keeps switching it a lot, so we don't really. And maybe by the end of the season as well, we won't really know what Willian's main role would be. But I didn't really see that creative spark from Willian, what he was supposed to do there. If I compare him with all the other false nines in the league right now, I do not think he is up to that mark. Or maybe it's early days and he's taking time to gel with the team. So we just have to wait and watch. But again, I go back to the old thing that if you're trying to play Willian in a role which we know we have somebody on the bench who's actually, we have seen him do better than what Willian did. And you're
Yeah.
keeping him out for your ego or whatever the reason is, I do not know. But I know that we have better players in our squad who can actually do it for us. So Willian may not be the solution.
Yeah, and I think I mean, in a way, you have to feel bad for Arteta also in some way because these are the things he would have preferred to have tried out in a proper preseason match, maybe. But then this season was completely different. There was no preseason, and let's see. I mean, it will be interesting to see whether Willian is played here more often or whether it is just a one-time thing. But yeah, that was quite a thing, quite confusing for everyone. And let's just hope that even if he does it, tries it out next time, it works out better, and maybe the team will be better. One of the things I always say, I have been saying with regards to the City match is the balance, or in any match, in fact, the balance will come into picture once Partey comes in, and once he is integrated into the first team, we will be more balanced. It's not necessary. I mean, the lack of creativity, we will still suffer from that, but there will be a better connect between midfield and attack. That's just my thought. Let's move on to a more controversial topic that we usually try to avoid it, but this is the moment that we have to talk about it. So, Samved, Arsenal submitted the Premier League squad, and Mesut Ozil has not featured in it. And this comes at a time where, as KU discussed, where we have lacked creativity quite a bit. There are various arguments with regards to this, but uh, what is your overall thought with regard to the full Ozil situation? And just give us your take on this situation.
Firstly, regarding Ozil, I still feel that he is one of our best creative midfielders. The only reasoning behind Arteta's decision that I think is that he does not want. He's building a team for the future. We've already seen the improvements in the defense. I think it's just a process. It will take some time. Maybe
Yeah,
he sees Mesut Ozil more as a stopgap solution because come next season he won't be with us. So maybe he's trying out different options. And to be fair, we all love Mesut Ozil. There's no doubt about that.
yeah,
He's one player who's brought so much joy to the club ever since he's joined. It's disappointing, but if you see, Ozil hasn't really improved his game. The things that he was lacking way back in 2013, he is still lacking those, even right now, especially his defensive work. And you see, especially in big matches, he goes missing. He maybe lacks a bit of effort or a bit of motivation. It just sometimes it seems like he has given up. And it's this isn't just something which has happened under Arteta. If you see under Emery also,
yeah,
we could see that even he didn't trust him to get the job done. So perhaps it could be purely for footballing reasons. There are other things too, but I'm really not inclined to believe the side of story of Ozil's fans that it is because of his comments on China. Because if you see, there was controversy regarding Ozil's picture with the president of Turkey. And
yeah,
then very recently, he also came out in support on the war of Azerbaijan on Armenia. See, things like these are, completely, I don't think the club really cares about these things. People are entitled to have their own opinions. With Ozil, the more time you get to think over it, you realize that, there are purely footballing reasons behind it.
yeah. Keyur, do you have any different take on this?
I do believe that, like Sambit said, we are planning for the future. But
Yeah,
I still feel that if you're planning for the future and you want financial funds coming in, you want to make sure that you're at least finishing in the top half of the table. With the squad, with the lack of creativity, completely banishing him from the top 25 doesn't make sense for me. He has to be there. Give him 20 minutes to bring that creative spark. In the end, we could probably, and I know that he doesn't offer anything defensively. Completely understandable. But you have 10 other guys who are should be defending as well, not just one Mesut Ozil. So I feel that, and on top of that, if you see the other controversies, the reason why this sparks more is Wenger coming back in and making a statement that Ozil is still got tons of football. He's in the prime of his career.
yeah,
Wilshere making a statement that Arsenal is doing something wrong. He is still the best creative mind on the bench.
yeah,
I again agree that this is more solely for footballing reasons, because of the salary, it might be causing some kind of a conflict within the other players in the squad, and maybe Arteta is taking it all upon
yeah,
himself. That okay, it was my decision to leave him aside. Don't go to the squad yet. My decision solely.
yeah,
And there was also another thing that was going on in the back, that with benching Ozil, we are saving around 3.4 to
yeah,
3.8 millions. So we don't
yeah.
really know what's happening in the back. All I can say that from footballing and from what I have seen so far, he is still the most creative person that we have in our midfield, and he is benched. So we might be losing at least a few points for that.
Just one thing more that I would like to add to what I had said. See, if you look at Arsenal under Arteta, one thing is definitely there that we have improved defensively, and
Yeah,
it's not just that the four players and the goalkeeper are performing better. If you look at the overall structure of the team,
yeah,
all 11 are contributing in keeping a very solid our defense very
yeah,
solid. Maybe perhaps it is that Arteta feels that with Ozil in the center, it may not be the case. We may be a
mm,
little weak at the back, but like Kiyur said, we could maybe have him on the bench, especially say if we are trailing 1-0 or 2-0 or 2-1 or
yeah,
whatever, with 20-30 minutes where you really want goals and you are not that focused on defending. Perhaps for situations like those, as a stopgap arrangement, having Ozil may have worked. But we don't. I don't think there is too much to worry about. It's something that I think the club is handling quite gracefully for now, even after so much provocation from Ozil, the ex-players, ex-managers. We are still maintaining some decorum. I think maybe we Arteta will try a few younger players in those positions. We
yeah,
never really know, unless
yeah.
the our academy prospects get a chance, we won't really know.
True. And I think it will all boil down to the next 1 week or so, 1.5 week,
Hmm.
wherein if we get the results against Leicester and against United in the upcoming fixtures, that's it. Like, people will see the performance on the pitch, and, you know, the topic is
Definitely.
forgotten. But
Yeah.
that's the issue wherein we don't get the result, and, questions will directly be raised, and that is going to happen. So it's, in a way, it has caused a very, very, how to say, a tense situation, which is
Hmm.
not, although let's say, we all wanted gone, it's not going to be gone. See, that is why, I would just like to add to this topic a bit, and we can close it there. That is why I have always been, I wanted Mesut Ozil gone. I mean, and not for any, I wanted him to leave the club at the start of this season, purely because it's too much of a story has built around this player and the club and this
Hmm.
entire situation. And it is something that is not needed for the with at the club or with the fans at all. The thing is, this causes an overhead. Each time Arsenal don't play well, there is a huge section of fans who are just going to lose their head and say that, he he's the pure. At the same time, everybody who has seen Ozil play recently knows that he's definitely creative, but he's not the same force that he was before. So, and that too, there's a lot more required. I have a feeling that it's a mixture of, definitely, of footballing reasons and non-footballing reasons, but the club has to handle this better. And the only way to do this is respond on the pitch. Club responds on the pitch,
Hmm.
wherein we get that creative balance somehow, and that's it. Nobody's going to, just don't give people a chance to question this decision. That would be my take. And yes, to just
Definitely.
reiterate, the same point is, get Partey on and support him with the likes of maybe Saka on the left and Ceballos on the right, and that's it. Partey shields the defense and gives some defensive stability, and you have your likes of Saka and Ceballos who will give you that
Mhm.
creative level, and that's it. There are solutions for this creative problems. It's just that it's about time that this works, and if not, then probably in January we have to
Yeah,
search our
get some
pockets
money
again
in.
for
Yeah.
some. Yeah. Uh,
One
so yeah,
thing that
I think
I would
yeah.
add is with Ozil, I think the emotional part of people being involved is because he was
Yes.
the one that Wenger went
Yeah.
on to say that
Exactly.
okay, we
Yeah.
are back in the financial market, and
We
he
are
came
back.
back in, and I know
Definitely.
his contributions were not much, but he came back in and we won the FA Cup. So I think
Yes.
it's dividing people, but it's probably uniting the squad, and it might be better for Arsenal.
True. True. There is, one thing with Ozil is at the end of the day, there are a lot of people who will show maybe who would want him gone. Even as I said, at the start of the season, at least, I would have preferred him to be there purely because I wanted this story to end. But then
Definitely.
Ozil is a player heavy. All of us have emotional connect with, and that's how it is. It's sad
Mhm.
to see it have ended this way. I think everybody would have wanted. That's what I say. If he had left maybe in the summer, we would all say thank you, goodbye, and everybody
Right.
would have
Mhm.
been. But now it's like another 7 months of more stories, more headlines. Let's just see how it ends up. Moving on, we have a Europa League match tonight, guys. Big, a match that requires a result very badly. Hopefully, certain underperforming players click, and you need to qualify for the group stage. What are you expecting? Skayur, I'll go with you in this. Are you expect what type of a squad are you expecting? A really young one, a mixture, or an experienced squad, or
One
what
thing
are you
I've learned
expecting
from
from this
Arteta
game?
is I cannot expect anything
You
related
cannot
to the
expect
squad
who
with
to
him.
start.
So as
Yeah,
long as we come back victorious, I will be happy. I will think that away against a Europa League team, I think we will come back with a clean sheet. I have a feeling Aubameyang might start just because he hasn't really scored well in the past few days, and we might need to put some confidence back under his belt. But
yeah.
I think this might be the time where Aubameyang is still on the left and Eddie Nketiah starts in the center. But I think that Partey might get his extended run today. He might actually be in the central midfield with
Yeah.
Xhaka and Ceballos.
Interesting. Let's see how that goes. Somewhere, do you just a small point? Do you think new goalkeeper will make a debut today,
Yes,
or will we still stick with?
I'm hoping that we'll get to see what our new goalkeeper can do. In terms of the team, I think in defense we really don't have options. Most of our defensive options are injured, so we'll have
Yeah.
to go with the regular defenders. I think it's just about perhaps what I'm excited about seeing is finally a full game for Partey and for Runarsson, and maybe Eddie and Ketia maybe getting good 70, 80 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. Uh, Along with this match against Rapid Vienna, we have three other games in the next 10 days or so. Wherein the
Mhm.
next game is against Leicester, a very big game on at home on Sunday. Then we play Dundalk on next Thursday, and followed by United. In terms of the league, Leicester and United, very crucial games, and they are followed by Aston Villa, Leeds also, but we'll get to those later. So, Samved, what are you expecting in the next two league games, and how, based on the games that have gone so far, how are you, and maybe based on the upcoming two games, are you changing your predictions with regards to where we will finish the season?
See, I think the next two games will actually give us an idea about where we stand because we had, I think, right at the start also we had discussed that perhaps we should forget about Liverpool and Man City. Those two are
Yeah,
going to be the top two teams. So, and we did fairly well against them. I think it's about the teams who are below them. So the next two games are going to be crucial. If we can get 4 points out of 6, I think it'll be a very good result for us.
yeah,
And if we are able to get that, then perhaps top 4 might still be achievable for us, especially because the United game is away and
yeah,
we don't really have a good record against Manchester United at Old Trafford. So I'm hoping that we can get 4 points, and perhaps we can see some of our main players coming back in form. For example, Aubameyang, even though he hasn't looked out of form, but he hasn't really scored. That
yeah,
is a point of concern. So I'm hoping that he can get back on the score sheet, and we can see some
Yeah.
fluidity in the midfield. Perhaps we
Yeah.
can address the question. Maybe we'll with Partey sitting in front of the defense, we can see some creative spark out of, like you had mentioned,
Yeah.
Saka and Ceballos. And it'll be interesting to see how those two link up with our three forwards.
Yeah. Kayur, your take with the next two games. What are you expecting from the next two Premier League games?
I am a little bit worried about the Leicester City game than I am about the United game. I know we are playing Leicester home and
Yeah.
United away, but
Yeah.
Leicester actually, I don't know who their scouting guys are, but they managed to find probably the best talent for cheap. And Brendan Rodgers is
Yeah.
not a bad manager. So I will be a little
Yeah.
bit worried about that game. I am fairly confident about our defense. It's the offense that worries me. But 4 points out of the next two would definitely make me feel a lot more comfortable. And if I have to lose, if I have to choose a game that where I would like to drop points, that would be Leicester. I don't want to drop points against
Oh.
United.
Yeah.
It's
Nobody would ever want that.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
the thing about games against United is, like Mourinho had mentioned, you could be on your way back home and you would still be called back saying that, United will take a penalty. So I'm keeping my
Yeah.
hopes at minimum for the game against United.
You're right. Yeah.
And it's simply because, it has a psychological effect on the players. They know the history, they know
Yeah.
everything. And, it plays in the back of your mind. With Leicester, I feel that, we have the defense, and hopefully with Partey, we should be able to contain them. We may not give as many opportunities for them to score. And if I have to bet that, which is the team we are most likely to score against, then, it would definitely be United given the current form and everything. But yeah, I'm hoping for, at least 4 out of 6 points in the next two
So
games.
this is one
Yeah.
one thing that I would like to highlight here is we are saying we are good defensively, but Arsenal is probably the only team who has 8 defenders who are first team players, and 5 of them are injured.
Yeah.
So we are one injury
Yeah.
away from actually
True.
making a hole in that
No,
defense.
I think we've
it
looked
seems to
very good
touch. Yeah.
defensively overall.
Yes.
We've looked
Yeah,
a
exactly.
cohesive unit.
I
Yeah.
was going to that. I was going to that point itself. It has been years since an Arsenal team has been termed as being defensively good. I know it's a very small set that we have. I mean, a few games that we are looking at,
Mhm.
but it's rare to see, Arsenal being called a good defensive side or having a good defensive record, and it's a wonderful side. Before we end this part, let's talk about two positive points or two positive people. And sticking to the defensive point, one person who seems to have had a really good debut, a good start to his Arsenal career is Gabriel, obviously. Samved, what is your take on his performance so far, and how? I mean, he definitely looks solid, but what do you think?
See, if you look at Arsenal's history, or if you look at, any club's history, all successful and great teams are built on solid defenses.
Solid
When
defense,
Arsene
yes.
Wenger inherited perhaps, the best generational defensive talent, that was there in English football. We literally had our entire back four was the back four for England. It was
England,
that
yeah.
good. And so I think with Gabriel, we've definitely addressed that, and it is showing, because the results don't lie. We played two
Yeah.
big games. I think the Liverpool game was a bit unfortunate. The result didn't really show exactly, how good our defense was. But if it was any other, our previous defense, we would have probably
Yeah.
allowed them to score 6-7 against us. So Gabriel, I think he's really made a difference to this side, and he has a very good presence in the box. I think that is
Yeah.
what was missing earlier. Good, solid physical presence. He's good with the ball at his feet. He's good in the air. So really something that we can build on, and he's still fairly young,
Yeah.
and I think it is
Very, yeah.
very very young. So it
Yeah.
is just about how well we can nurture him, and then we may
Exactly.
be
Yeah.
able to see him improve even further.
Yeah. Definitely. And another aspect with him is he doesn't go to the ground for a tackle that easily. He's very
Yes.
stable and he's quite
Yes.
mature. For a person who's maybe English is not his first language, come from a new league, he seems to have adapted really well. But then
Mhm.
again, I keep mentioning the same point that for us, this is a long season. He will make the eventual odd mistakes. It's up to us fans to back him up and not get behind him his back
Definitely.
all of a sudden, because being a new signing, he's going to do that. But the signs are very positive for the long term with Gabriel, and couldn't have asked for more in a center back like that.
Yeah,
The last
with
topic
the
and the
how.
last person I would like to talk to. Yeah,
Yeah. No,
yeah,
so
yeah.
I
Go
was
ahead. Yeah,
just going to add. So I remember Arsene Wenger saying something that when you're playing a young defender, when you're trying to groom a young defender for the
yes,
first team role,
exactly.
one thing that you tell yourself that you're going to lose 6 points in this season, but perhaps
You're going
you
to
can
lose
make up for
exactly. Yeah,
those points in
yeah.
in the coming season. I
In
think
the
we have to
following
accept that.
coming seasons.
Yes,
Yes,
and
exactly.
we have to accept
So
that
let's go on to
he
the
is going
last.
to make that error.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So, Keyur,
please go ahead.
coming to you for the last point, and that is the one bright spark against City, the one bright spark against Sheffield United, a player who has been performing really, really well, in my opinion, and could be one of our key factors in our creative battle is Bukayo Saka. Kid is wonderful, has loads of talent, has end product in himself. Just, I mean, I will not stop singing his praise. Your take on Saka?
I think right now he is probably our best hope of creating something from the left hand side. Uh,
Yep.
and especially like you said, when Auba cuts in and Saka goes in the back and pulls the ball in, that's probably our best bet of scoring. But he has been immense. Left back, left wing back. He has also played up front, or he slides back in. So
Right side also.
definitely, yeah, right back. Sorry, yeah, and he has definitely been one of the positives that we had brought from last season over till now, and
Yeah.
still looks immense. He still looks like one of those guys who actually can make a difference in this Arsenal squad.
Yep.
He can unlock defenses. Let's put it that way. He has the ability to
Yep.
unlock defenses.
And we really hope there are more youngsters who come through and have, like Saka for instance. He started in 2018-19 season under Emery is when he made his debut, but he actually established himself in the first game of the Europa League last year against
Mhm.
Frankfurt, where he scored one and assisted two. So hopefully today we might see the likes of maybe Smith Rowe or Nelson, someone who will step up in a match like this and have a good season ahead. It's always good to have your youngsters have a good end product, and for us, anyone coming from the academy, that is always a good sign. So guys, I think we can
Definitely.
leave it there. It's been a good discussion. Let's see when we can catch up next. The matches are coming thick and fast, lot of matches and lot of things to discuss for sure now. We have midweek matches back too, so I think we will be end up discussing almost two games a week.
Mhm.
Let's see. Maybe we can catch up over the weekend and discuss the Europa League match and maybe the Leicester match in depth, or maybe catch up next week and see how the matches have gone. Thanks for joining in, guys. Hope to catch you guys next time. And yes, do like and subscribe the channel and comment and give us your feedback. It's always good to have you guys with us. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.